Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Needs to Be Read. And with it being the holiday season, loving yourself usually isn't on our list. We don't usually put ourselves on that gift list. We don't look out for ourselves. So every chance I get to talk about self-love and self-help and just remembering you, I love to have a guest on. So today, our guest, we're not family, but we might be. We might have to shake the family tree. I want to welcome into the conversation Ofosu Jones-Quartey. Welcome.
Hey, Catherine, how are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, you've written a book called Love Your Amazing Self, and when I looked you up online, because I did, hip-hop. I got to ask you a hip-hop question. Meditation teacher and hip-hop musician known as Born I. So we'll get into a little more of that. I want people to follow you and know how to get in touch with you outside of this. But next year is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. What do you have in store?
Well, that's right. For 50 years, I just saw Big Daddy Kane post something about that on Instagram. It was top of mind this morning. Yeah. Well, I mean, I released an album called In This Moment last year, and I am going to be releasing a follow-up to that in the new year. And I'm also going to be doing a hip-hop version of the book in the new year as well. So there's definitely going to be some contributions, some hip-hop contributions from me in connection with the 50th anniversary of this beloved art form.
Fantastic. How close are you to North Carolina?
I am 5 hours away from North Carolina.
You're in Georgia. Like we're gonna have to get you up here.
I'm north, so I'm in the DC area. So
not far. 5 hours. You're going out 5 hours.
Yeah,
you're pretty close.
So
well, I love that. So tell me, meditation and hip-hop, I would not have put those two things together because I'm thinking hip-hop is to get me pepped up and get me hype, and it's a vibe. And then meditation is a different kind of vibe. It's settling and grounding and centering. So tell me how you mix these two together. How did you come up with this mix?
Yeah. So, I feel like hip-hop, well, coming back to mindfulness and meditation, for instance, I think that meditation traditionally is about being calm and being centered and being quiet, but it doesn't always have to be that way. When I think of mindfulness and when I think of meditation, what stands out to me is being present and being kind. I feel that mindfulness is a way to be aware and to care for yourself and for your environment, for the world around you. So you can do that on the move, or you can do that in stillness. And in my music and also in the book, I'm really just wanting to highlight what my journey has been and what I think is valuable in a human life. And I think that I came from a place when I was younger of not recognizing my own worthiness. And it's not because my parents didn't love me or anything like that. It's just what happens to so many of us, that we gradually buy into external messaging that we are not enough, whether that comes from social media, whether that comes from school, just the process of living. We fall into what Tara Brach calls the trance of unworthiness. And I'm trying to help myself and help others wake out of that trance and to remind themselves and to remind myself that we are enough, that who we are internally and externally is perfect as it is, and that our life is not an accident, that we're here for a reason. So I mean, I just try to infuse all those ideas in my music and in my writing, and that's how they tend to come together.
Well, I like that because I feel like I'm new to meditation because you just blew my mind about hip-hop being a form of meditation and being able to care about the world, because you do think, I do think when I'm meditating that I'm, going inside of me, and it's all inside so it can come out and I can be a better person. But it's always quiet, and it needs, stillness. But, sometimes you can't find a quiet place to meditate, and you just need to, check out, and you might be at the airport or in a crowded room, and you're waiting, next or whatever. So I need to close my eyes. But meditation, you may not always have the perfect scenario to, sit in the right posture thing. So I see that. But then when I'm thinking about music, Christmas music or hip hop, because that's a big part of our culture. I mean, anybody up to the age of 50 and over, you have hip-hop in your life. It has crossed over to classical music. It has married other genres of music, so it's there. But just the feel of music itself, it makes you happy, and it makes you want to be self-expressive. So when we think about self-love and self-care, it's a big order, because it's opposite of being selfish, but is it? I think it's a healthy selfish if people can buy into that, because you have to take care of yourself to take care of others. That makes sense. But then how much of it is okay, because the world will pull at you, because everybody has their own agenda. So even if our parents did a very good job, even if we came from a 2-parent household and we had everything to us, there's still going to be something that causes us not to love ourselves the best. And we're pouring so much out. So I feel this, and I love that while I'm listening to my music, definitely celebrating a full year next year of hip-hop, being a part of our life in our movies. I was just watching Brown Sugar a little bit last night, so, hip-hop is everywhere. So as I'm, getting geared up, I'm feeling positive, and I'm feeling, jovial, and I want to give that to other people. But if I run out, how can I give that to people? So talk to me, because I noticed that you're talking to the younger people, you're talking to the children about, self-care. But this is something we adults definitely can embrace. My 10-year-old says to me, why do you still have, I'm 48 years old, he says, why do you still have an imagination? I said, then why are you 10 without one? He thinks that adults should, like, at a certain point, it cuts off. You don't get any more imagination. And so I'm just thinking, wow, self-love isn't limiting either, and nor is an imagination. But you're talking to the youth, which is great. Give me a little bit before we get out of here. How are you seeing this help young people? Because I think when we're young and everything is pulling us and we don't know which way to settle, how do we settle on loving ourselves when our friends want things from us, or, our so-called friends, or, other agendas? How is this working out for our young people?
Absolutely. It's funny. The conversation you were having with your 10-year-old reminds me of a verse in the book called "Finding Your Magic," and just about the power of imagination. So,
it's hilarious.
I think for me, what I wanted to do with this book was it is overtly meant for young people, but it's covertly meant for people of all ages, so that when adults and children are sharing this book, it's a collective experience of laying a foundation for young people and an inspiration for adults to maybe re-examine their approach to themselves and how they talk to themselves. For me, nobody gave me the idea that, hey, you can change how you talk to yourself, when I was a young person. And so that's really a huge part of what I want to share in this book is look at yourself in the mirror and just appreciate what's there. The same way that you care for your friends and that you care for your parents and that you care for the people around you, and you accept them for who they are, you can accept yourself for who you are also. The person that you see in the mirror is worth your love and acceptance. Not only that, but, reflect on your own good qualities. Reflect on what you're grateful for. Use those things as ways to lift you up. And my hope is that these are sort of like psychological seeds that can be planted in the heart and that will bloom in time. I've got kids aged range from 6 to 20, and I'm seeing you never really know if they're taking on the messages that you're offering them But I'm seeing in my 20-year-old that a lot of the stuff that I was sharing with her when she was super young are showing up for her in her young adult life and helping her navigate, you know. And I also feel like the best way that we can help young people is to embody and practice what it is that we're preaching. So when adults are sharing this book with their kids, it's an opportunity for them to take on some of these ideas and to embody them, and to let that be a gateway for young people to walk through.
Our time is up. Oh, my goodness, but I'm reaching back out to you for necessary reasons for next year. This is the author of Love Your Amazing Self, Ofosu Jones-Quartey. Tell them how to get in touch with you outside of This Needs to Be Read.
Sure. Well, thank you, Catherine, so much for having me. It's such a wonderful interview. You can find me via my website, bornimusic.com. That's BORN, the letter I, music.com. And on social media, that's pretty much my handle across the board. It's at bornimusic, at BORN, the letter I, music. And, the book is available everywhere, and you can get it through my website or anywhere books are sold.
Fantastic. Until we talk again, you have a fantastic book tour.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to This Needs to Be Said. I hope you've gained something from what has been shared. Send me your comments and show ideas through the website at TNTBSmedia.com. I'd love to hear from you.